Meg, thank you. A mid-Michigan man is preparing to head south to help victims in the path of now tropical storm Harvey. And after 2 local teens were killed in a hit and run, the owner of the building hosting the event the teens were attending is speaking out tonight. The news at 6 starts right now.
Live and local with coverage you can count on. This is WNEM-TV5 News at 6.
So a lot of families just waited around. This is Houston. We're used to weather like this, but I believe this is a little more than we expected.
Tropical storm Harvey continues to dump massive amounts of rain on the Houston area. Another 10 inches of rain could still fall as this storm is shaping up as one of the greatest flood disasters in U.S. history. The flooding is catastrophic, leaving dozens of Texas towns and cities completely submerged. And with the historic rain still falling, it could take weeks or months before the true devastation is known. Thousands of volunteers from all over the country are now heading south to help in the recovery. TV5's Cameron Riddle spoke to one local man preparing to do just that.
As millions along the Gulf Coast try to flee the destruction of Hurricane Harvey, Red Cross volunteers from mid-Michigan have a course charted for the next area expected to be hit hard by the storm.
It was originally going to go to Houston, but I don't know if they've got enough right there right now, but seeing how it's coming up through Louisiana, they want to get some people there to be ready. And so what I'll be doing is me and another person will be taking one of our ERVs, emergency response vehicles. We got to go down to Detroit, pick it up, and we'll drive that down to Louisiana. Dan Harrier will take off first thing Thursday morning and head to Baton Rouge. That's where heavy rains and flooding are expected to take place after the massive storm loosens its grip on the Houston area. We'll be taking food to people that need it, or either to shelters or people that are just stranded out in different locations that we can get to that they can't get away from, and we'll take food to them. For Harrier, this will be his 3rd deployment following a major storm. He says for him, the best part is the feeling he gets when he does what he loves, helping others in need. It's just unreal, and that's why I like to do it, because it's just that good feeling that you get out of helping other people, and there's nothing replaces that. I don't care what kind of job you got and how much money you make. You go out there and you help people, and that's more rewarding, helping God take care of his people. And volunteers of the Mid-Michigan Red Cross will head south as they begin their 2-week deployment to help the folks down south as the remnants of Hurricane Harvey continue to slam the Gulf Coast states. In Elma, Cameron Riddle, TV5 News.
All right, Cameron, thank you. Dow Chemical announced today the company will donate $1 million to support relief and long-term recovery efforts associated with Harvey's devastation. Dow has 8 different sites throughout Texas with 12,000 employees and contractors. Everyone has been accounted for, but many were personally impacted by the storm. Now, there are many ways you can donate to help those affected by Harvey. You'll find several links in the hot link section of WNEM.com. The National Weather Service released an updated forecast today on where Harvey is expected to go next. Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman is tracking this massive storm from the First Warn 5 Weather Center and joins us now with the very latest. Brian.
Well, David, unfortunately, the numbers just continue to mount as it pertains to Tropical Storm Harvey. The rainfall totals just climbing higher and higher and higher as the storm is still sitting just off the southeast coast of Texas, well within range of pumping that Gulf of Mexico moisture inland repeatedly over and over and over as the heavy rains just continue to drench already soaked parts of Texas. Here's some of the rainfall totals. Now, these are over the last 4 days now. We're that far into the event at this point, and there's a report out of West League City, Texas, that's a suburb of Houston, of 52.88 inches of rain for the duration of this entire event. Mary's Creek, Texas, also in nearby the Houston area, 49.2 inches of rain reported. Dayton, Texas, a location we looked at yesterday, which hadn't yet eclipsed the 40-inch mark, has now handily done that to 43.69 inches of rain. Berry Bayou also getting above the 40-inch mark at 40.63. Houston officially has logged a total of about 28.83. That's at the Intercontinental Airport there, but as we've seen, many of their suburbs far, far higher totals as the catastrophic flooding just continues. But if there is a silver lining to this, it's that Harvey is at least now beginning to show some signs of movement. It's slow, but it's going to pick up over the next 24 to 48 hours. Currently, though, with the center sitting back out over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, it has intensified a little bit back to sustained winds of about 50 miles per hour. But as you can see, as we go over the next really 18 to 24 hours from its current position to about tomorrow afternoon, it at least brings it inland and weakens it to a tropical depression over northern Louisiana. and then the storm will continue to gain steam as it continues to move inland. But here's a look at it on the First Warn 5 Sky Tracker, continuing to pump that moisture now into eastern portions of Texas. But the fortunate news, if there is any, is that at least the folks in the greater Houston area, while it is still raining, they're beginning to transition more to a lighter intermittent rain as opposed to that steady drenching rain. Bringing it back here at home tonight, we're of course dealing with some scattered showers and storms of our own, some packing some heavy downpours, especially from about the Tri-Cities and into parts of the I-69 corridor. So if you have any plans to head out this evening, just keep a very watchful eye on those skies. Temps where we see that rain a little bit cooler in the low to mid 60s, but places where we've at least stayed drier like Flushing and parts of the Tri-Cities, in fact, staying in the low to mid 70s. We'll take a look at what's ahead, that is, for the rest of the work week locally coming up.
Brian, thank you. The teen girls killed in a hit and run over the weekend were leaving a local event hall when they were struck by a driver who fled the scene. And now the owner of that event hall is speaking out tonight against allegations from a Flint City councilman. TV5's Rachel McCrary spoke to that owner today, who believes claims that drinking on site and a lack of security are a personal attack.
Prayers goes out, and we can't be no more saddened at this time.
Gerald Parker is heartbroken. He says his heart aches for the families of two 13-year-old girls killed here crossing the street on Saturday. Asherita Clemens and Tatiana Brown were attending a teen party at this building Parker owns. As they left the party, they were struck by a car that sped away.
I learned about this party Friday. A gentleman came to me that was hosting this party, and it was told to me that he was a teen club promoter for all the high schools.
Parker says he agreed to use the facility for the party because he says the promoter was raising money for kids programs. He insists he wasn't breaking any laws by having the party on his property.
We have not had any violence here, any gunfire, any drugs, any prostitution.
As we reported yesterday, City Councilman Kerry Nelson sees it a different way. Nelson tells TV5 he's been trying to shut down this plaza for months.
A function took place last Friday night. If you say you didn't make any money off of it, okay, but you allow the function to happen. It's your building. You own it.
Nelson says he gets a lot of calls from neighbors complaining about loud noise and commotion here on party nights. Today, we wanted to ask the tough questions. Should the party have happened in the first place? Flint police tell us they have responded to 4 calls at this plaza since 2015. And when we went to City Hall to dig deeper, city officials told us there were no active businesses listed for this property.
So he made it his objective to shut us down. So he did make attempts to shut us down. We came in compliance with everything that the city and he asked us to come in compliance with, and we was able to stay open.
Parker says the kids were supposed to leave the event that was held here by midnight. Parker insists he had over a dozen security guards on duty the night of the tragedy to make sure the kids left safely. For his part, however, Nelson says he's going to try to continue to shut down this business. Parker, meantime, says the emotional scars will be with him for a long time to come.
It's just that due to this accident, it's got my mind is not still right.
Asking the tough questions in Flint, Rachel McCrary, WNEM-TV5.
For years, Stars buses have sported a sleek look of white and purple with the Stars name displayed in big letters. But now buses are getting a more personalized touch. A number of Stars buses now feature advertisement wraps for various local businesses, organizations, and even schools. As TV5's James Felton explains, it's all part of a contest held earlier this spring.
The Bridgeport Bearcats advertisement is on our bus because they won it.
The sign on the bus says it all. Don't wish for it, work for it. That's what the Bridgeport Bearcats did. They took part in a contest put on by Stars earlier this year. Stars Executive Director Glenn Steffens says Bridgeport competed in what he calls a business scavenger hunt.
It was a promotion we had called Parade 365, where businesses could put a wrap on one of our big buses and sponsor a local nonprofit or school or team on one of the small buses.
And if a participating nonprofit or school organization wins the contest, they will get their advertisement on the side of one of the smaller buses that Stars runs. And the business that sponsors this organization will get a small mention here on the side of that same small bus, and then also get a large advertisement on one of the bigger buses.
It feels nice to ride by and see you on the side of a bus.
Kevin Marshall is head coach for the Bearcat football team. He said his players used social media to promote businesses in the Saginaw area. It was all part of the contest. Now they'll get to see themselves on this bus as it rolls through the community well into next year.
Even last week, we've seen a lot of people come from Saginaw to Ann Arbor to see us play and support us. And a lot of people, notice us because they're on the bus and they're doing something good over there and want to see what's happening.
Of course, Stars is winning too. Stebbins says a lot of businesses have reached out to him, seeking exposure on the side of the bus. He tells me advertising revenue is up, and he expects that trend to continue, all the while supporting business right here at home.
To get something that's local to Saginaw, we felt really helps the community.
Reporting in Saginaw, James Felton, WNEM-TV5.
The Stars Parade 365 promotion is expected to take place again next year. An official date for entries has not yet been determined. More than 1 week after a hit-and-run killed a woman in Alma, we're learning more about the suspected driver and what he's accused of. And we are closing in on 200,000 Facebook likes, and we need your help getting there. Like us on Facebook for breaking news and weather any hour of the day. You're watching TV5 News at 6, serving Frankenmuth, Fenton, Pinconning, and your hometown too. It's coverage you can count on.